All right. Hello, hello. This is a reprise of the talk I gave before regarding making better lemons. Let me change the image in the nest here just a moment. Um, wait just a second. There we go. Let me see, can I get rid of this? All right. Well, I cannot get rid of the original one, but anyhow, so I did do a recording of this making better lemons back on October 12th, but it didn't actually record. So we're going to try again and do it now. So anyway, what does making better lemons mean? Well, it's just another way of putting the quote, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. So, making the best of your life and maybe situations that arise and turn them into good. All right. And well, I was about to say it's not hard to do, but yeah, it can be hard to do. It really can. However, you know, so many people and probably even yourself have um, triumphed over bad times, adversity, challenges. You've turned things around. You know you have done it before and you're going to be able to do it again and again and again. No matter what happens, you're going to survive, you're going to be resilient, and you're going to be better than ever. I mean, look at a person, Mulala Yousafzai. I believe that's how you say her last name. But anyway, Mulala, she's a very uh, famous woman now. She was born in Pakistan and she um, advocates for women to become educated and improve their lives, have their own lives, and contribute to their own life success and the betterment of the world itself. I mean, she started this advocacy, or her being an activist in this way before she was shot in the head by the Taliban. I mean, she was shot by the Taliban, and yet she recovered from that. They tried to kill her, they couldn't kill her, and she came back. And she was even a more prominent advocate for not only peace, but um, to tell women all over the world, but especially in her country, that, nothing can hold you down. Nothing can change um, you as far as you wanting to become educated and wanting to change your life and better your life and be the person you want to be. All right. I mean, she is a living example of that. There are many successful people who have thrive despite maybe a shortcoming. Look, Steve Jobs, who, you know, made Apple a worldwide leader in technology with innovative products. I mean, it's a multi, I think, billion-dollar company. And Steve Jobs dropped out of college after the first year. That didn't stop him from creating this company, Apple. Okay. Oprah Winfrey, she came from poverty, from the state of Mississippi. And she's not only one of the richest women in the world, but um, she has done so much as far as uh, with her talk show and what she does philanthropically. She also advocates and she's an activist for education for girls, for women. She has built schools in Africa and other places. And, she uses her wealth and influence to help the unfortunate. Now, we don't have to, become like worldwide leaders and, want to change the world. Um, we can just want to change our own lives. If we change our own lives and become the best we can possibly be, then we we can affect the world around us. All right, this is what I want to say. Just like, don't think that, well, I can never be an Oprah Winfrey or a Malala. um Even a Sarah Jessica Parker, she came from a very large family of 7 siblings, and her family could barely uh, keep the lights on in their house. But she's a successful actor, and she also um, is an influencer in the world. So um, I want to give you a little story about myself and my life. I just put up a photograph in the nest, and it is a picture of the cover of the book I wrote with Don Randy about his life. He was a member of the Wrecking Crew, session musicians who worked with many top producers, but the main producer was Phil Spector on thousands of top popular songs of the day from the 60s through the 70s. And also, I helped write that song. I was the writer of the book. Don and I worked together. And the story on this, and this is a published book. And I never thought I would write and publish a book. I mean, I've always been a writer, and in the back of my mind, I always thought, like, wow, it'd be really cool to be an author, have books or a book um, that is sold to the public that I've written. So the story on this project goes that, I was working for Disney. And I love that job. I mean, that was like my dream job. I was a producer for branded entertainment, which means that these are projects that were sold to Disney's top advertising clients, such as Ford, Macy's, Walmart, Honda, Nintendo, Sony. I mean, all of these companies wanted to advertise on Disney Online in particular, because, the audience or the demographic that Disney.com and its affiliates, um, like Family Fun, Family.com, DisneyChannel.com, all of those various entities or online um, publishers, a part of the Disney family, the demographic is quite high. Well, it's a large demographic, but the um, the financial, I guess, what you'd say, the profile of the users of the site were of a higher financial level. So, of course, they wanted to um, advertise their products on Disney. And so I had the great job of being a producer, working with our sales department and the clients to develop um, products or content for the Disney.com site that also promoted their product. So, in other words, let's say, for example, for Pirates of the Caribbean, let's say Verizon was one of the, and they were one of the um, sponsors of Pirates of the Caribbean. And what they wanted was to integrate their product in with Disney content and Pirates of the Caribbean content. So I would be the producer that would put together a mini site, a mini website that was branded Pirates of the Caribbean, but it would have a specific feature. Let's say um, it was a website that had a certain game on there for kids. Maybe it was a game that was related to phone calls. Let's say, for example, I do remember we had Verizon as a customer, but I can't I cannot remember right now what exactly we built for them. But in the end, what the purpose of that was to promote particular phones that were sold only with Verizon. If you had um, a if you're a customer of Verizon or became a customer of Verizon, you can order a Pirates of the Caribbean branded phone with your uh, account. So that's the kind of thing. And, of course, Verizon had to also pay the licensing fee to be able to put Pirates of the Caribbean images on phones or phone cases or whatever it was that they were um, promoting for to make the phone branded Pirates of the Caribbean. So, of course, we also, or Disney also, um, uh, made money from the licensing, but Disney made money because Verizon paid us to have an advertising campaign, and I was able to be a producer of that. And I produced many campaigns. It was a fun job. Um, it exercised a lot of my creativity and my management skills of a production team, a digital production team that could put together and program games and put together um, graphic design that melded the the Verizon branding with Disney branding, and it all came together, and they were very successful campaigns. But I got laid off from Disney, and once I was laid off, which, I thought, dang, this is the end of the world now. I was hoping to retire with Disney. I had already had 7 years in, and I was looking forward to, another, let's say, 15 years at least or 13 years ago, 20 years, and retire and have my pension and Social Security and lifetime Disney Silver Pass so I can go to Disneyland anytime I want in retirement, you name it. Um, but that came to an end, and I thought, what the heck am I going to do now? I mean, I'll try to get another job with another company, no problem. But, you know, inside, I kind of wanted to do something else. I didn't know what, but, that's how I felt. So, but at the time, I used to frequent the Baked Potato, which is a club that was owned by Don Randy. He started that club in the early 70s, um, because he was doing all these sessions, but he's an accomplished jazz player, and pretty much everybody that his colleagues that he played with on these, pop songs, these rock and roll songs, they were all accomplished jazz players, even some classical players, and they wanted a chance to play the music they loved. So he opened a jazz club, the Baked Potato, and I used to go there quite frequently. So when I went to the Baked Potato after my layoff from Disney, like a week or 2 weeks after that, it was a night when Don was playing with his band Quest, and, I had become friends with Don, and he was telling me a lot of stories. I didn't really know when I started going to the Baked Potato what his history was, but just from getting to know Don and him telling his, amazing stories about his life as a session musician, um, I got to know him. And so when I got to the club and I always greeted Don, Don greeted me, and he said, well, or he asked Nish, how are you doing? And I said, well, not so good, Don. I got laid off from Disney. And then he immediately said, well, then you can write my book for me. And I was like, mouth open, thinking, uh, what? I've never written a book before, Don, was my response. And Don just says, yeah, but you're a writer. You can do this. I know you can. You'd be perfect. So write my book. And I thought about it for like a couple of moments and I go, okay, sure. And that's how that started. And that changed my life. You don't know what's going to happen from one moment to the next, but you have to be open to let it happen. So, what I would like to say to everybody is that no matter what happens to you, you do have the strength and resilience to turn it around. You'll get through it. You always have, and you will again. And even if you're not suffering anything um, terrible at the moment, but maybe you're just thinking inside, you know, yeah, I have a good job. I have, a place to live, a family, you know, I have all the things that I should be very, very thankful for. You're very, very thankful for them, but there's something missing. There's something else that you are meant to do. Well, have the strength and the courage to do it. Just do it. What could possibly hurt? The the thing that could hurt is that you never tried to do something that could possibly change your life and give you the dreams that you have always dreamt of, and to do the things you never thought you would do, but dreamt that would be a wonderful thing to have in your life, and you could have everything. And I'm not talking about just wealth. Of course, you can have wealth too, but it's like a satisfaction, like a love and a joy that you feel eh, deep from inside, and a self love, knowing that you know what you did this on your own, and you know you can. So just every day, just say to yourself, I love myself, and I'm going to love myself some more, and I'm going to go forth today and just love my life, enjoy my life, and spread love and joy out to the world, to the people I encounter. All right. Anyway, that's how you make better lemons, lemonade out of lemons, and make your life more beautiful, more satisfying, more loved every day. All right. Thank you. Take care. And I love you.